All this week on 10-Minute Food Truck Training, we are talking about operational excellence, and that excellence comes in the form of different manuals.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore, founder of foodtrucktraining.group. Today we're talking about one more manual you're going to need, and it's an important one, and that's the marketing manual. I did a podcast on marketing, and I've also done a couple of videos in my Facebook group. That group is called Food Truck Training. There'll be a link in the description if you want to join. But inside all of those different things I've done on marketing, it's always been a checklist. Here's some inspiration. Here's some ideas that you can do. Here's some different campaigns that you can do. But a marketing manual is more than just a checklist of things to do when your sales are slow. A marketing manual contains all those different ideas I talked about in the form of a checklist, but it also has a reference point for inspiration when you feel like sales need to be reinvigorated. A marketing manual also does some detailed things, like it lays out your color schemes. It gives details on the exact name of the color, the hex code, or the numeric code for the color. So that way it's the exact same color from whether it's on a screen or if it's in print. The marketing manual talks about details like the font that's going to be used, what's the exact font, the fonts you're going to be using in your written material, because you can have a different font for your logo than you do for the written material, but you want to know what those fonts are so you're consistent from ad to ad, post to post. The marketing manual will also lay out details for your photographs, how they're going to be watermarked, where you can place the logo on them. It's going to lay out all the details for your social media. And what I recommend on social media is no matter which platform you use, whichever one you think is going to be the most beneficial in your area, that's awesome. But you need to get on all of them. Not that you're going to be posting every day on all of them, but you want to do a couple of things. Number one is tie up your business name. For example, Pirate Dogs, what I used to call one of my hot dog carts. I would want to have a Pirate Dogs page on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and everywhere else. Any place that you could be, you should be. Doesn't mean you're posting every day, but it means that you're there with a profile that shows your information. So if your particular area is very Facebook heavy, you're on Facebook and that's where you're posting. But if you have somebody that comes into town, or you have somebody that's not wanting to deal with Facebook and they go looking for you on their favorite social media, they'll find you, they'll find your profile. And within your profile, you'll say, hey, we post daily on, and then you give them a link to where you post daily. You give them a link to your website. You give them a link to where they can go place an order and get food from you. So you don't have to go there and try to create a community on that particular social media, but you need to have that presence there. What that also does is it locks up your name on that social media so that you can have the exact same name across all the different social medias. Because at some point, it could be possible that Facebook falls out of favor. I mean, we had that one other precursor to Facebook that fell out of favor. It's still around, and I can't even think of the name of it, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. All the kids were on it at one point. It fell out of favor, and then people got onto Facebook. And Facebook could go that same route. We don't know. So you want to be on all the different ones. Not that you're active, just that you're on them. You have that presence, and that profile forwards them to where you are active, or to where they can place an order. That's the only two things you have to worry about. Placing an order, and then where you hold the conversations. If they're that interested in you, they will follow you to wherever you are. But you don't want to not be on those social medias and have a competitor tie up your name and then maybe give you a bad name on that particular social media. So always tie up your official name and try to make it the same name across all the social medias. The marketing manual is a place for you to have all those different social medias listed and what the official name is. So that way you don't have to try to remember them all. You got them all written down. Another thing that your marketing manual will do is it lays out the details for the brand itself. And the brand is what people think about you. So you're kind of crafting a way to help people know what to think about you. So it's far beyond the colors, and it's far beyond how you wait on people, but it's also what you do in the community that helps to develop your brand. one thing that I recommend everyone do is develop a mission statement. And the mission statement can be just a couple of lines, but it has to be meaningful to you. It's not something you can whip out in a couple of hours and go, look, yep, that's our mission statement. Doesn't work that way. But a mission statement should do a couple of things. It should be inspirational to you. It should be a rallying point that your staff can get behind when things get tough, because they will get tough in the business. And you can look at the mission statement and go, okay, we've had a rough day, but this is what we're going to do that falls in line with our values for the business itself to help us to get beyond this little rough patch we're having right now. Basically, think of your mission statement as kind of like the Gettysburg Address. One of the greatest speeches ever written, and it's a very short speech, but it handles everything that they were feeling when they dedicated that cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. And it's recognized as one of the best speeches ever given. It was written by Abraham Lincoln. You don't have to be as eloquent as Abraham Lincoln, but you have to have that mission statement be meaningful to you. So I talked about having your why, because the why is what pushes you through those days when you have low sales. Your mission statement is what helps you to pick yourself up by the bootstraps when you've had a rough day, not necessarily a slow day. You had a day when the fryer breaks down and you're super busy and the lines are way longer than you anticipated. You ran out of food. Your service is a lot slower than you expected it to be. You had guest complaints. Mission statement helps you to get through those. And you pick yourself up so that tomorrow you try to line yourself back up with that mission statement so that you can continue to serve people in the manner that you want to serve them. So I'm avoiding giving you examples of mission statements because it's not a copy and paste kind of thing. Look up mission statements. Look up different businesses, especially food businesses, and draw some inspiration from them. But a mission statement is not, we're here to make money. A mission statement should inspire you to make money, but it can't be, we're here to make money, because that's not inspirational. You can put money in a stock market and it will make more money for you, but that's not a mission. So within your marketing manual, we've talked about it being a checklist of different campaigns you can do to help invigorate sales. We talked about it being a way to list how your brand should look and feel. We talked about the social media. One more little thing I want you to think about for your marketing manual, and that's positioning yourself within your market, within the area that you plan on serving. And there's 4 things you got to think about: price, product, promotion, and place. Okay, it's 4 P's: price, product, promotion, place. The price is obvious. You have to make money on whatever particular products you are selling. However, there's going to be a span. The price is going to fall somewhere in that span. You could be on the low end and still make money. You could be on the high end and still make money. And obviously you can be in the middle and still make money. But each of those different tiers, those different pricing tiers, kind of explains where you're going to be within your particular market area. So if you're going to be more expensive than everyone else, there has to be a reason why you're more expensive. You can't just price everything more expensive than every other food truck unless there's a reason, a justification for that price. Likewise, you can price yourself on the low end, and there's not a problem with that. But there has to be that justification on why you're at the low end. How are you going to make money at that low end? So you have to figure out what your price position is within your market. Your product. If you're in a city that has 55 barbecue food trucks, you being number 56, it may not be a good idea. And that may relate back to what price you're going to be. You may have to be the low one in order to get people to even come try out your food, because there's so much competition. So you got to understand what your market needs as far as products go and where you can fit in within the scheme of things for those products. If your barbecue recipe is so much better than the best barbecue truck in town, by all means, become the 56th truck that's selling barbecue. But unless you're 100% sure that your menu is significantly better than those other food trucks, you might be in for a tough ride. So you got to understand the product and the product needs within your particular community. Promotion. You got to understand how you're going to promote your business. You cannot just show up with a food truck, and even though food trucks are recognizable as being a food truck, and expect people to show up. It does not work that way. You have to market, you have to promote, you have to let people know you exist, and then you have to give people a reason to come try your food. Again, if you're the 56th barbecue truck, why should they come try yours over the other 55? You have to promote your business. That's why you're setting up a marketing manual. And then place is the 4th P. Where will you set up? How does this relate to your community? Do they even need a food truck where you plan on setting up? And all of these things, they relate to each other. So again, it was price, product, promotion, and place. So we talked about price tiers. So think about this. If you have champagne prices, which is not a problem, but you're selling those champagne priced items off of a Beverly Hillbilly style truck, does that make sense? Do you think that's going to get people to come eat with you? Because there's a disconnect there. They don't understand, well, why does this cost so much? And the place looks really, really junky. So the price has to make sense not only for your competition, but for what you're selling within your business. Then that relates to the product. You can start out with super high quality, but if you're not delivering a super high quality end product, doesn't matter how much you paid for it. If you're buying Wagyu beef and then grinding it up to turn it into a hamburger, you're not going to be able to get the kind of price you need out of it to pay for having Wagyu beef in the first place. Because people won't understand, well, why are you grinding it up? Wagyu beef is the steak to have. Why are you turning it into a hamburger? So the product has to make sense for the price, has to make sense for the quality. And the quality has to be there from the beginning to the end, because all of those things will justify the price. The promotion, how you market your business, how you present yourself to the community as a whole. All of these things have to mesh together with your brand, because people will notice that disconnect. They'll notice that things are a little bit amiss. If you have, again, the champagne prices, but you dress in a t-shirt when you go to present yourself to somebody. They go, well, why does it cost so much and you're dressed like a slob? Why are you trying to sell me on your business coming to set up in front of my business and you look like you're dumpster diving? All those things have to mesh together. They have to make sense. Just because you're your own boss doesn't mean that you can just throw out normal conventions out the window and say, I'm going to dress how I want. You're not a billionaire yet. You're not a millionaire yet. You don't get to write your own rules. Once you get to that point, then you can dress however you want, because you will have earned the respect of everyone. You can't earn respect when you look like a bum. And then the final P was place. It's not only where you set up, but also where you advertise, how you advertise. If your product's higher tier and you set the price and the product makes sense and promotion makes sense, it doesn't make sense for you to have that champagne priced menu and you decide you're going to set up in front of the unemployment office. You're not going to generate the kind of sales that you want, because the people that will be coming to you don't have the money you expect them to have pay for what you're selling. So your price goes a little bit farther than just making money. You got to have that balance of those things: a price, product, promotion, and place. That's what your marketing manual helps you to lay out. Tomorrow we're going to summarize all of these manuals we've been talking about and putting them into action in your business so that you can go from just getting started to get you into that upper tier for sales. If you're enjoying our chats, please consider supporting the podcast by clicking that support button. Every little bit does help. Or if you'd like to make a one-time donation, I have a link in the description for that as well. If you need more information or just like the camaraderie of like-minded people, please join our group on Facebook. It's called Food Truck Training. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening, and stay profitable, my friends.